If it is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. This is one of my favourite quotes of all time, and it actually stems from my childhood. When I used to play Aussie rules football as a kid, my coach at the time, every time before we run out on the field, he would get us in the change rooms to be chanting this over and over again. You know, if it is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. And that's a memory that's really sort of stayed with me. And it's a very powerful quote. You know, at the time, playing football, he was trying to get us to take ownership of, you know, if we want to win this game, then I've got to make that tackle. I've got to kick that goal. I've got to make that pass, you know, whatever it might be. Like, it's those little 1%ers in the game of football that wins the game. It's not the team, so to speak. But it applies to so many other things, you know. It's one of the key messages through a lot of program dichotomy. Look at songs like Venomhead, where we're singing about your mental health and your mindset towards anger and resentment and hatred and all of those negative, powerful emotions that we have. You know, it's not people that piss you off. It's not them. If people are pissing you off, you know, it's up to you to take control of your anger and your emotions and not just vent them and throw all of that hatred and anger out into the world. Because if you do that, then that becomes contagious and somebody else sees that and then they hate you and so on and so forth. And this is poisonous mindset that grows and grows and grows because we didn't take ownership of our actions. You know, as Darkness Comes is another great example. You know, we're singing a lot about the damage to the environment, and whether you're talking about the actual environment like nature and things like that, or whether we're talking about our own environments and our own mindset and our own lives, you know, we've got to take ownership of that too. If we're polluting a lot of the environment with plastic and CO2 emissions and all of these things, and our consumption of products is high and is poisoning the environment, we can't sit here and blame big companies like Minds or you know, $1 million businesses that it's their fault that the world's polluted. It's like, well, it's as much our fault. It's our world. We have to do something about it. You know, if we're talking about slave to the grind is very much about the fact that it's up to you. Your success, your destiny, your happiness and fulfillment is up to you. You know, if you're working a job that you hate, that's on you, man. If you want to chase your dreams, you've got to make the decision to do that and not be slave to the grind. You know, that's what the message of that song is about. You know, so, and a lot of the other songs that we will begin to talk about over the next few months also have a similar sort of message. You know, at the end of the day, your life is your responsibility, your time, your mindset, everything. It's up to you. You know, if it is to be, it is up to me. If you want something better, you've got to make the decision to make it better. You've got to take ownership of the fact that it's up to you. And like we spoke about in the Raw Truth video from last week, you know, you've got to take the power back. You've got to grab hold of your life and start pushing it in the direction you want it to go. And not sit here blaming everyone else with a victim mindset saying, you know, oh, it's not fair because of this reason, or this person's making my life like this, or this situation's doing this, or COVID has got me feeling like shit, or COVID is preventing me from doing all these things. And, you know, yes, it's true. COVID does prevent us from doing a lot of things. But that doesn't mean it can prevent you from being happy. It doesn't mean it should prevent you from being fulfilled or doing things that you want to do, work towards things that you want to work towards, you know. And even if it does prevent you from doing things that you want to do, like, you can't control that. So take ownership of the fact that you can't control that, and you have to find something different to do that's going to make you happy and fulfilled. At the end of the day, everything comes back to, if it is to be, it is up to me. And that's why it's one of my favorite quotes, and why I'm really taking charge of my life and taking control of my own happiness and my own destiny and my own direction and where I want my life to go. One of the best ways to take control of this and to sort of start guiding your life in the right direction is a thing called vision boarding or future boarding. It's a concept of setting goals for yourself in the future that are not necessarily plans and action steps and all of that sort of thing. It's purely like a dream board in a sense. It's, you know, you find pictures and what your life might look like, or something that you really want to do or see or be or experience. You know, you can certainly look it up, vision boarding or future boarding. Essentially, you collect a whole bunch of your dreams together, put them on a board, you know, whether it's digital or physical, and by collecting those dreams, getting pictures of them, collating them, and visualizing them, visually representing them on a board, it starts making your brain work towards achieving them, because you've actually set the dream into a goal and say, like, hey, this is something I actually want to do, this is something I actually want to achieve, and this is what it looks like when I achieve it. Whereas if you just keep it in your mind and you're just sort of thinking, you know, oh, I'd love to do this one day, I'd love to experience that, or whatever, like, as long as it's in your mind, it's not clear, and it's never going to happen, because you're going to sit with it in your mind just wondering, like, yeah, that would be nice, but you don't even know exactly what it is. You don't know what it looks like, you don't know what it feels like, you don't know what it sounds like. By just representing it on a vision board or a future board, that instantly makes it way more realistic, and it gives your brain something to actually grab onto and work towards, and then it starts becoming like a magnet and pulling yourself towards you. So I certainly encourage you guys, if you're feeling a little down in the dumps with COVID, or just generally in life, you know, this is a good opportunity to sit down maybe this week and start doing some vision boarding. You know, look, as I said, look up the term. There's plenty of videos on YouTube and things like that of how to make vision boards and how to make future boards. Certainly I recommend Sarah Santrella. She's all about future boarding, and she's got plenty of video resources, but there's tons of other guys on YouTube that will talk you through the process of how to do a vision board or how to do a future board. But essentially, as I said, you get the visual representation of your dreams, of all your individual dreams and goals and things that you'd like to have, and you put them on a board, and you put that board somewhere in your house, and you look at it, and you remember every time you look at it, that's the thing I'm aiming for, that's the thing I'd like to have in my life. And it doesn't have to be, you know, this week, next week. It could be a 5-year thing, or it could be a 10-year thing, or it could just be a one-day thing. But by visualizing it, it definitely helps your brain start working towards it and start that dream acting as a magnet, pulling you towards it. So yeah, guys, check that out. And remember, as always, if it is to be, it is up to me.